What is up, guys? J Rock Freak here, and welcome back to Otaku Puppy Podcast. I'm back this week with another bark for you guys. I'm not sure which bark this is. Let me double check real quick. Oh wow, bark 30 actually. So all right, welcome to bark number 30. Um, yeah, hopefully you guys are having a great week so far. Hopefully you had a great weekend as well by the time you're hearing this. Yeah, hopefully you guys have been watching a lot of new anime for the fall season. Dragon Quest is really good so far, loving it. Dragon Quest is really good. The Rock Climbing Team anime is really good as well. Also, the reboot of Higurashi is really good, and the Water Park show is also really good. It gives me crazy Durara Raw vibes, which I love. But yeah, back this week with another bark, and bark number 30 is um my biggest disappointment, my biggest anime disappointment for 2020 so far, and given some of the comments I've seen on other blogs and whatnot and comment sections, I'm not the only one who shares the disappointment. My biggest disappointment of 2020 anime wise has been The God of High School. Yes, The God of High School was, for me personally, a major disappointment. I wasn't anybody, I wasn't a person who had any knowledge of even God of High School before the anime came out. I had saw people talking about it, people really hyped about it. It was like one of the most hyped shows this season. I wasn't familiar with it at all as far as webtoon goes. I had never read it, had no knowledge of the webtoon. And so when it came out, people were really excited for it. I was like, okay, cool. It looks like it might be pretty cool. I saw the trailer for it, and the trailer was bonkers. It was like them running down the street after the guy stole Ollie's purse, and they just clobbered him. And I was like, okay, all right, this is what we're getting. This is going to be the anime. I'm fully on board now with God of High School. So yeah, after the trailer, I was fully on board. I was like, okay. Oh, and sorry about that. If you heard a pause or anything in this, because I paused it for a second to pull up the character list. I'm sorry about that if there is a pause in there. But yeah, I was extremely excited for the anime. I was like, all right, I'm fully on board now. The trailer looks amazing. Let's go. And for a while it was pretty good. Character wise, I liked it. Jin, Han, and Yu are all three really good characters. Um, Jin is sort of he kind of reminds me of Asta a little bit from Black Clover, where it's like he's powerful. He may be not the smartest guy in the room, but he's all about his friends. He's very smart and he's loyal, which is great. Han, we see him fighting pretty much to save his best friend, which is great. And you have Yu, who's fighting sort of for her family legacy. All three characters are really good, and all three have a really good friendship. That's not the issue. The issue with the God of High School, and which I've heard people say that they rushed it a lot from the webtoon, which I don't doubt, given it was only 12 or 13 episodes, so I don't doubt that. But the problem I had with it was that, first of all, it was so hyped up that I wouldn't be surprised if it got a season two. So that means they could have paced the story out better. It's backed by Crunchyroll, so they're not going to just drop it right away, I don't think. Um, but the story the story felt like, I'm not sure reading the manga could change this. The story felt like they didn't know what it wanted to be. And what I mean by that is, when I first started watching God of High School and I got familiar with what the story was about, I was under the impression that it was going to be this team competition of high school students, and it was going to just lead up to seeing who was the best fighter, aka the god of high school, because they beat all the other high school students, they become like a god of high school. That was my impression. And for a while, that's what it was. It was these different high school students fighting to see who was the most powerful team or whatnot. That was what it was. But then somewhere in there, it switched over to where everybody's got these crazy powers, and there's Jin's grandfather who's missing because he knew some stuff, and then there's just this secret organization behind the scenes that are trying to control everything, and they want the power. And then there's the Nine Tails, and it was just a lot. It was so much, as if like they didn't want to solely be a high school student fighting tournament anime. They wanted to try to make it sci-fi-ish and kind of still spoof it up with everything else instead of focusing on one subject. I think that if it had just been a high school fighting tournament anime, it would have been just fine because that part of the show was really good. The fight scenes were really good. The fights themselves were really good. If you want to have them have powers, that's fine. It's anime, fine. No problem with that. I mean, the rah rah rah, we had a what was he? He wasn't a butler. He was anyway. He beat people with sticks and whatnot. So I mean, the anime characters having crazy powers is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But it just seemed like it was just too much story, too much not making a lot of sense. We're a tournament anime. We're also a people with superpowers anime. We're also a secret organization trying to take over everything anime. Too much of one. Too much of too many chefs in the kitchen, as they say. Stick with one thing and do that well. And that what they did well was the tournament aspect of it. That part was really good. Should have stuck with that, in my opinion. After that, it just goes haywire. By the last really good episode was probably when, or last few, I would say. There's an episode where you attempts to marry this guy who got a lot of money because he can bring prestige to her family name. Found out he was just lying. He just wanted her sword. So that was a really good episode as well because kind of played on her wanting to bring prestige to her family name. That was really good. And there's an episode where Han tries to save his friend, and he has to fight with you. And man, does he just destroy her? He brutally beats her to a pulp. To save his friend, where he wins, and they tried to save his friend with this new technology, and unfortunately, they weren't able to do it, and the friend does pass away. Um, but yeah, so that was both those were really well done. After that, things go crazy. Um, and like they feed Jin some kind of fruit to see if he has any powers, and then Jin goes to rescue his grandfather, but finds out that was just a fake, and they were faking him out, and just all kinds of random stuff. And then towards the end, they get teleported to this world by the guy with the nine tails, and him and Jin have this fight. And turns out Jin's got this like power beyond power, and my goodness, it was ridiculous. Um, by the end, I was just like, whatever. I was so done with the whole thing that I was not even into it. Maybe I'll read the webtoon and see if it's any better, any story fleshed out more. But solely based on the anime, it was a train wreck by the end, complete train wreck. I really wish it had just been a high school student fighting tournament. I think had it just been that, it'd have been perfect. You could have gone to see them train more, have them interact at school, outside of school, or whatnot. Maybe have other students spying to see what their opponents were like. Build it up that way. I think that would have been the route to go. But they didn't go that route. They went everything else. And I put it on the webtoon as well. The webtoon seems to have just be a jumbled mess from where I can tell based on this story. The story seems overly complicated, and I don't like overly complicated. So yeah, God of High School was definitely my biggest disappointment of 2020 anime wise. Just did not like it at all. I was extremely excited for it and was extremely let down by it. So that's pretty much it for this part, guys. Thank you guys for listening. Let me know what you thought of the God of High School. Did you love it? Did you think it was just okay, or did you not like it at all? Let me know in the comments below. Um, and yeah, so leave a comment below, leave a like or dislike, either one's fine. Um, Subscribe to the channel. And yeah, check out the links below for Twitter and all the other good stuff. And yeah, I'll be back at the end of the month with another review, maybe, or bark, or a bonus puppy. Not sure which one yet, but I'll be back with another video for you guys. And so yeah, so until next time, as always, Maho out.